welcome to Inside Nigeria. This is the last edition for the week, and incidentally, it's just 2 days before Christmas. Merry Christmas to all our viewers out there. My name is Winnie Palubeba. With me in the studio, you can see our Friday guest, Maji Dahiru. It's always a pleasure to have
Thank
you.
you very much. And
I'm
Merry
so
Xmas,
happy.
Merry Xmas in advance.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. So we are looking at the papers we have on our menu today. We have Nigeria's first and foremost Friday newspaper, Leadership Friday. Leadership Friday says at Lagos luncheon and Rivers rally, Tinubu Obi speak to issues, underscore governance plans. At Lagos luncheon, Rivers rally, Tinubu Obi speak to issues, underscore governance plans. How combat Nigeria's challenges to opportunities, says APC presidential candidate. Our own government of youth, women, Obi. Don't waste time on Tinubu Atiku, says President Muhammad Buhari. That's a leading story on Leadership Friday. Yes, Majid, I'm so impressed with the way some papers, especially leadership, is
Yes.
reporting politics this time
Yes.
around. It's trying to be neutral. It's
I'm
not
trying to
taking
bring
sides.
out issues,
Yes,
you
trying to
know.
bring out issues. As you can see, some unlike other papers that politicians own, they are not
Exactly.
playing
They're not
fair
playing
at
that
all.
neutral role that the media is
So
supposed to play.
they're not playing neutral. You could easily pick up a paper and you know where
In
it's
the
stands.
direction of the editorial
Oh yes,
and the headlines too.
yes.
Yes, at the luncheon yesterday, Tinubu actually gave a good account of himself.
Mm.
He was very competent. He had the presence of mind that is required for such interaction.
Okay. There was
Yeah.
no graphs and
Not really, and a lot of messaging,
okay.
positive ones came out, something that
Um,
people can hold on to. You may agree with some, you may disagree with others,
um,
but there was something to report. In fact, even this day reported
yes,
some of the things he said.
yes.
And so it tells you that somehow the media, whatever the interest of the media is, individual media houses could maybe,
Um,
when you also give a good account of yourself, nobody has a choice but to report it.
yes.
Yes. And one of the things that came out of the parley yesterday between Tinubu and the business owners in Lagos was what I said, we're going to move subsidy.
Yes. He said
And, no matter
no
how
man
you-
the protest will stop him.
Yeah, he's frontal about it,
Yes.
and he said it
Mm,
punchline.
yes.
And I think he's also
He also
speaking.
seems part of
Yes,
some
even
parties,
Atiku
yes.
have made the point that he's going to remove subsidy.
Subsidy.
Peter B has said the same thing. Now,
But it's contrary to your views.
no, it's a very wrong thing to do. I still maintain my stand, and you begin to wonder whether these people are actually reading the science correctly. Right now in the UK, there's a general strike on
Yes.
because of the cost of energy. General strike, including ambulance drivers, including paramedics, including nurses. So the NHIS is practically on comatose of the street.
Yes.
And more labor unions in the UK are going to say, why? The cost of energy has increased the cost of living. And so their wages can no longer cope with their basic needs. And so the government there is battling. Right now, they are subsidizing gas prices and electricity bills. But people are saying it's not enough to cover their cost of living. I'm talking about over $100 billion in package for subsidies. And so the government is battling now to find more ways and means to make life easier. Otherwise, the economy will be shut down. It's a natural consequence of high cost of energy. We cannot be toying with the same idea in Nigeria. When all over the world people are subsidizing, we are talking about the increasing price of energy. I hear them talk about subsidy being a subsidy on PMS being a subsidy on consumption. And then I wonder to myself, who drinks PMS? Who eats PMS? PMS is a component part of production. In fact, the key component in logistics in Nigeria, in small and medium enterprises in Nigeria run principally on PMS. Your Okada rider, your Napep rider, your Uber driver, your Gani machine operator, just name it. Barbing saloon, hair salon, name it. Shoemaker shops, they run on PMS. What it means is that if you remove subsidy, as you are saying, and the price of PMS increases marginally, if you add to the cost of production of all of these goods and services, and wages remain constant, people will no longer be able to even afford what's already unaffordable. And I keep saying that the solution to the problem is not subsidy removal per se. First, fight the corruption inherent in the administration of subsidy. Secondly, you have to have a complete master plan for energy security in Nigeria. Energy security in Nigeria has to do with resolving the problem of local refining, particularly as Nigeria is endowed with hydrocarbons. We cannot afford importation when we can refine locally. So I've not heard any of them talk about a clear roadmap towards
Yes.
increasing
Aside,
local
aside
capacity,
removing the
subsidy, as some people are
Mm,
saying, privatization. And I'm asking, there are two components to energy security: availability and affordability. If it's available and not affordable, you don't have energy security. It's a problem.
mm,
If it is unavailable and affordable,
affordable.
it's a problem.
Also a problem.
In the case of Nigeria, it is unavailable and it's
It's
unaffordable.
affordable.
It is a double tragedy. So they should be talking about how to fix this problem and make life easier for Nigerians. Everyone has said we need to take tough decisions, and I said no, take the right decisions. A tough decision does always translate to a right decision, and the right decision does not always make things tough. Take the right decision. The end game of government is welfare and security. Anything you do otherwise is not your, you are not meeting up to your responsibility. I'm talking about subsidizing consumption. Who says anything is wrong with subsidizing consumption? When Almighty America, where they studied in Harvard, where they studied in MIT, and all these places at Yale, America subsidizes food. Food. America provides subsidy by way of social security for its citizens, for the vulnerable poor. America subsidizes education up till tertiary education level that are owned by the federal government. In fact, the federal government of America gives grants to private universities to aid their programs. A major source of revenue for privately owned universities, including Harvard, Yale, and all of them, actually comes from the federal government. A cousin of mine relocated to Canada recently as a permanent resident. He's not a citizen yet. He came to visit me. He told me, look, once we arrived in Canada, the government of Canada gave my wife $30,000 grant to further her education. $30,000. And my three kids are on $500 per month subsidy. What are we talking about? What are we saying?
However, if I may also chip in, during that after the DSS intervention, giving marketers and police stations to open them to, was it 24 hours or 48
Yes,
hours?
yes.
Yes, now but the situation is back. And these marketers also listed some challenges. Among them is the fact that they use diesel to run some of these trucks.
I'll give you a typical example. Somebody gave
Then
me
secondly, the bad roads.
somebody gave me an analysis that as a petrol station, I won't mention the name now, in Upper Lagos, that the cost of diesel running, let's say that their budget for diesel annually was about, okay, say 24 million max every year. Money that they used to pump them, their service to service the stations to power and dispense petrol is about 24 million per month per annum. That when once diesel crossed the red
Almost
line,
800
that their budget for 1 month became 24 million. How will that marketer not add the cost of this diesel to the price of PMS? Because is it going to run at a loss? That's what I'm saying. Ab initio, we're not supposed to have deregulated diesel. People are thumping their chair. Actually, there have deregulated is available. Say, can't you see the damage it's causing to the economy? Now, the government cannot intervene in diesel. At all, how do you intervene? It's no longer in your hands. But where would have intervened was if we had a functioning refinery. We cannot look at options of intervention. And if you have a functional refinery in Nigeria that can take care of your domestic need, you can subsidize it more efficiently. You know how? You know the input that goes into the refineries, and you know the output. So you are easily able to measure it. But with importation, it is fluid. It is amorphous. It is difficult to track because it is importation. But production, locally, you can track. So you can also, okay, first thing you can do is, can we give crude oil to refineries in Nigeria at a lower price than international market price? So the price of diesel can remain at a certain level that will not rupture the economy. This is a typical intervention of financial security. So with this, all of this, you forgo part of your profit from crude oil sales that's not converted to subsidy by way of lower price. You have solved the problem. So the problem we need to solve is fixing our refineries. Getting state governments to build refineries. It's important now. so that all hands can be on deck to make Nigeria energy sufficient, and then we export. Imagine what Nigeria would have been making if we're exporting into the West African market.
Now, would we say that when Dangote refinery comes on stream, can federal government then remove its hands from subsidizing the
No, you won't. Now this is the time. You must subsidy. You know how? That would the private.
entity within the country?
But so it does not owe
So we
you
are not going to be paying so much
exactly.
for
I agree.
branding for.
It will reduce the price naturally,
Yes.
but as a level it can still be, and Dangote will sell at a certain price. For example, if crude oil price rises beyond $100,
Mm,
Dangote's price of PMS will increase because it's buying crude at international rates in Nigeria, even though it's a Nigerian entity.
mm,
So to forestall that situation, the Nigerian government will still from time to time have the conversations with them to say, we don't want PMS to go beyond certain prices in Nigeria. And so if the challenge is cost of crude, we'll give you a discount on crude so that they can bring out PMS at a price that is commensurate with the purchasing power of Nigerians. So subsidy is a continuous thing anywhere in the world. In America, government does not own refineries in America. Government does not own the use of production in petrochemicals, but it subsidizes. How? America has a strategic petroleum reserve where it stores crude oil, it buys and stores crude oil as a government. And what will it do when the price of PMS goes up in America? It releases from that reserve to refiners at a lower price to crash the price. Simple. Because that is the duty of government. In addition to that, they also give a lot of incentives, tax breaks, tax holidays for exploration of oil. They do that. They also give very cheap credits to oil producer. They have many ways of intervention to make sure that the price is low because that is energy security.
No,
So
when PIA has been there, or PIB, it was eventually signed into
And became PIA.
Many Nigerians applauded the bill, saying that it will take care of issues in the petroleum industry. But we don't think, is it not supposed to be to tackle these?
I wasn't one of those Nigerians that applauded PIA.
Yeah,
Because I've always known that PIA was not the solution to the problem.
many people saw PIA as God sent, as one to address all the challenges.
Nigeria is having a very big problem from government inefficiency and government failure. There are a group of Nigerians that have constituted themselves into purveyors of eloquence of ignorance. That is, they are experts. They are reputed to be experts. They speak very well on issues. And most times, you interrogate what they are saying critically. It's clear that these things are shallow, empty, and sometimes outright nonsense. How can a piece of legislation solve a problem in the oil and gas industry?
To create transparency, to remove the bottlenecks, the hiccups.
The Constitution of Nigeria mandates transparency in every government activity. If the Constitution didn't make you to be transparent, what makes you think that the PIA will make you transparent? I keep saying our problem is not laws. We have some of the most fantastic laws already couched in our Constitution. Already. It is government's attitude, economic belief systems, that is the problem of Nigeria. A government you are right, you are signing PIA and you have not fixed your refineries. Where in the world are you seeing an oil producing country, a lot of OPEC, that does not have presence?
Sixth largest oil producing.
It is an embarrassment. Until we come back to the basics to make NNPC work. We check from NNPC to NNPC Limited. NNPC stopped remitting to national account.
Yes.
Under the PIA.
Yes,
Under the PIA. When we were corporation, when we have no PIA, NNPC was remitting into the national account, no matter how small. We became PIA controlled the economy now. They are not longer remitting. For 9% February, they are not remitted.
Yes, they've not remitted.
A few months after PIA came into effect. What does that tell you?
So what the governors have been showing is just the VAT and every other.
And taxes. And you see, the problem is, the time will come, it will begin to shrink. But what actually pushes, what creates that income generation is spending by government from crude oil exports. So if you have a sustained period of non-remittance, your taxes will begin to shrink because if government is unable to spend new monies from external receipts into the system, businesses will begin to crumble and tax revenues will begin to lower. So a government needs external receipts at all times to bolster the economy. So it's a danger. We are celebrating non-oil revenue
So
sharing.
would you say now that the PIA was overhyped?
It was not supposed to have even taken place in the first place. We have already established laws.
To tell you the importance or the how esteemed it was, PNB returned to Nigeria that very day and he quickly signed it.
Because
That, from home.
the
It was on a
so-called
Sunday. He
the
signed it at
so-called
home.
experts, those who okay, let me just say this. Government likes very easy way out. See government. Since 1999, easy way of privatization, concession, remove subsidy. Very, very easy things. Government likes it the easy way. They enjoy it. They don't want us. They want to take the difficult job of doing the hard work to correct. They don't want to do it. Somebody convinced the president, apparently, to sign the PIA. Automatically, everything will become. And so the president was already believing that, oh, this is the only problem. And he flew down and signed it. And 9 months later, no remittance operation happened. It was never the solution.
NNPC was, as
Remitting.
you said, was remitting.
So how far?
That is
So
another
it's
PIA
not about
they are
PIA.
doing.
It was never, look, NNPC was established as a corporation to be a profit generating entity. NNPC was never established to be a loss grossing entity. It wasn't established to be inefficient. It wasn't established to be corrupt. No. So go back to the Establishment Act of NNPC and run it. It's as simple as that. Recently, again, they're trying to make a lot of laws. You should make too many laws in this country.
We do.
See,
And that is why we made some more laws that some now infringe on the other. We have so many.
because we want to put that thing down. It's only animals that you must tell to do everything at certain times. A human being is rational enough to know that, look, this is what is expected of me. I'll give you a clear example. In the Constitution, there is already autonomy for the government in the Constitution. There's autonomy for a House of Assembly and state judiciary. It's already there originally because the Constitution says there shall be separation of powers. That is autonomy. But somebody, a governor, sat down on it. And this assembly, instead of mandating enforcement of our laws, are busy now trying to create extra constitutional means. Okay, we want to let us put autonomy, let us be written in the Constitution. Okay, now the governors are now refusing the assembly to pass the autonomy bill. So what are you going to do? It's already there. So it's the same thing with NNPC and oil or the oil industry. All of the nonsense going on there was not supposed to happen initially. So what you need is a disciplined, incorruptible, patriotic, enlightened leadership to make things work. You don't need too much of laws. What will it take to make refineries work? For God's sake. Why? What will it take? How is Saudi Arabia able to run Saudi Aramco? How? Qatar, we just came back from the World Cup. Qatar is a state-run economy. Straight. There's no straight run. With the efficiency of the best private sector practices in the world. Government. Same thing with Kuwait, UAE, Singapore. Then the biggest one is in China. Any investment you see in Nigeria, any business of China is owned by the government of China. All, including water, including bakery, construction company, Chinese government. Chinese banks are even government banks. Alibaba is partly funded, almost more than the government of China holds majority equity stake in Alibaba. But they give private faces, they give private outlook, but it's government owned. And like China today is one of the biggest economies in the world that is giving us loans. We go to China to collect loans. China is not tired of giving us loans now. But we refuse to do what China is doing. It's like you want to go to Beijing. China is beautiful. We make China a reference point all the time. But you're going to Beijing on a road that leads to Washington. You're going to Kuala but you are facing Juba. How will you get there? Why not pay attention to reforms? Look, I was in Cote d'Ivoire recently. Let me add this. For the African Investment Forum. You see, additional, the president of AFD, said something. First, he referred to the countries that came, whose head of state came for the event, as the CEOs of their countries incorporated. So he referred to the president of Zimbabwe as the CEO of Zimbabwe Incorporated. What is he trying to say? The country is a business. It's a business entity you must run efficiently first. And he made the point that no amount of international financing or development collaboration can save African economy except governments becomes efficient. He made that point. If anybody is listening, what he's trying to say is, go and fix your processes at home. We've done too much intervention that is not yielding fruit. How many billions of what has pumped into Africa and Nigeria? No results. Because the structure of governance is highly defective. So we need it. You must fix government. So for going to for PIA, you should have fixed government, fix NNPC.
No, this about turn of Tinubu. Don't forget, was it
2012.
Yes.
Yes.
When there was a revolution.
He was part of those who supported. In fact, Lagos was the host of the revolution.
Yes. And now he's saying that he
We will not going back. So it tells you that.
So what do you have to say?
You see, we have degenerated in economic thoughts over a while. That everybody tried to take the easy way out. But do you know what they know the argument? Subsidies got paying so much. So if you remove subsidy, we will not channel the money to other things.
Yes, so that is.
And as the money that have been given for other things, what has been the result? That is one. Two, the money as the subsidies got paid, even the DG, is it done? CG now customs raised questions. The figures are not adding up. This same subsidy was paid by Obasanjo. It didn't break Nigeria. Obasanjo paid subsidy 12. Yes, he reduced it sometimes. That we strike, we agree at a certain price, but he was still paying subsidy. OBJ left an extra school account of $9.8 billion. OBJ saved $12 billion to pay off our debt. OBJ paid 75 minimum wage 12 without sweating. OBJ paid even special salary scale for some MDGs. So that was when you now saw public sector workers earning so much that they became middle class people. OBJ. Then I came and I reduced fare price from 17 naira to 65 naira. I retained it throughout his tenure. We didn't even hear complain about subsidy. Government didn't complain for one day about subsidy payment under Yar'Adua. Jonathan came, tried to remove it. We said no. He left it at 97 naira. I reduced it to 87 naira. We didn't hear complain about subsidy. Why are you not telling me that? So all of a sudden, we're not using all of our revenues from crude oil to pay subsidy. I don't know that somebody is actually
stealing. The money just
he didn't know that he didn't know that this is definitely a scam. So instead of it to solve the scam and allow them just to enjoy the subsidy by way of reduced payment on energy services, you are talking about removing the complete. Instead of it to solve the problem that is there. That's what I'm saying. They are not willing to take the difficult road. They want to take the easy way out, which will lead us to nowhere. The day remove subsidy, chaos will set in. I have to say that subsidy is only effective in the cities. That if you go to villages, that's another anomaly. The day you remove subsidy in the towns, in the cities, and start buying PMS for 400 in Abuja, it will become 1,500 in the villages. Simple. How much will PMS in Borno and Sokoto and Kano? Or will you pay the bridging cost after you remove subsidy? That subsidy has to be suspended under PIA. The PIA is not even practical about suspended. They suspended some certain sections, which depends on how the plans to do. Why do you write in law that you want to implement it? Because if you no subsidy, you will no longer pay bridging costs between PMS. So Kano man will buy Kano, Katsina people, Sokoto people, where the present comes from, buying almost at double the price. Than people that buy in Lagos and those that are nearest to the sea. Why do you do something that you know is not practicable? Why?
Given the way Nigeria, the sensitive nature of subsidy now, and Tinubu is coming out to say he's going to do it, is he actually endearing himself to the public?
Well, the thing is, those that work for Tinubu have made up their mind to vote for him, not because of governance. Established politicians have been voted for by people who love them, largely for what they're going to gain from government directly. So it's not really about.
It's all about patronage.
No, it's for the established people. It's about patronage. The only person I had expected to take a different turn was Peter Obi. Another, for example, if you look at Tinubu, recently he also met with the labor movement. And I must say this without fear of contradiction. Tinubu made the most far-reaching propositions to labor than Peter Obi. Tinubu pledged continuous government presence in the economy. But the only way I thought it was that presence would have been more in the energy sector than any other place. Private sector can take care of it. Can take care of housing, development, banking, manufacturing. But see energy as the bedrock of industrialization. Energy as like the foundation for economic growth. Government must be more present there. Because a private sector person who even delivers wants profits. It's not his business to make it affordable to you, but it's government's business. So, but I don't know why he missed the point that energy should have been his core focus as president. But beyond that, he made the point that government will present a strategic critical status of the economy.
Yes, and in fact, I'm also now that you even mentioned it, I'm also surprised that none of them have really harped on this energy issue
No,
in
no, they
their
don't
in
seem
their
to
campaign.
understand.
Do
They
they
think, they
really
think
know
it's where no,
what Nigerians are
they don't
facing
know. They think it's fair
that it has
subsidy.
affected the economy?
No, they think the problem is fuel
Yes,
subsidy.
subsidy.
They don't know it's about
So
energy
the
security. They don't seem to understand.
exactly.
And they're not learning from what's happening over the world. They don't seem to be learning.
And just like what you said, I was also surprised just before the campaign started. Peter Obi said he was going to Egypt to go and study the energy.
And he went
So
to
you are going
Egypt.
to Egypt just 2 months to campaign.
My dear sister, very funny too. He went to Egypt. He came back and I asked him on national TV, Mr. Peter, tell us what you saw in Egypt. And I'll tell you what he saw there. Egypt has 100% energy access for citizens. They've gotten it right in energy, particularly electricity. They've gotten it right. But there's something else Obi didn't tell us. The energy company of Egypt is owned by the state of Egypt. It's not private. Obi went to Morocco and told us that the ports in Morocco are the best in Africa. He stopped in there. He didn't tell us that the port of Morocco is operated by the state of Morocco. The fertilizer company in Morocco is owned by the government of Morocco. Any of these developing economies you see, Vietnam, Singapore, Cambodia, South Korea, name them, they are all state-run capitalist economies. It is important so as to be able to catch up. Yes, and as a matter of fact, even America can be said to be a state-run capitalist economy. Any government that gives the kind of support America gives is a state capitalist economy. America recently said they have cautioned their tech companies to stop opening shops in China, that is opening businesses at home, because they are giving them grants and they don't want the grants to create overseas to create also. So America is giving grants to tech companies. Oh, really? Ah, I thought it was a private. I thought a private affair now. Oh, so government is giving them money to set up private companies. Okay, really? Grants? They didn't say no. Grants. Let us stop deceiving us. Let us get serious. But if you look at the countries I'm talking about, their presidents, their leaders are disciplined. They don't steal one naira. For all the trouble that Trump went through, did you hear anybody accused him of stealing government money?
Exactly.
Did you hear?
Nobody.
Liz Truss, did you hear for Liz Truss accused of stealing government money?
Bill Clinton, presidents
No,
before him.
nobody.
No.
They've gone beyond that level. No, they can't touch government money. So it's not the matter of, okay, your personal character is not good. You don't have to talk. You insulted somebody. You looked at a woman twice. Why should you? You should be fine. They got it to that level.
Yes.
We are still here,
Struggling.
struggling with stealing of public funds.
So what? So based on what we just said, would you say that the candidates, presidential candidates, are?
They are bereft of ideas on how to solve this
I
problem.
just
And we need to set an agenda for
that
them.
statement came to my mind. I just didn't want to be.
They are bereft of ideas. They are.
They are not really.
No, they
seeing
are.
Or is it that they don't know what Nigerians are passing through?
They have gone too
That is
far.
all about energy
You see,
security.
they have gone too far in that they believe in. It's like if somebody believes in a particular religion or even a sect in a religion, to now turn him back and say, no, the Bible didn't actually say this. The Bible said this. You'll be quoting his pastor instead of quoting the Bible for you.
Yes, but expect them to be speaking to issues. Oh, on energy, look at how we are going to
Look at what's
resolve.
happening in Europe.
See what the situation on
No,
ground now.
globally. What's happening?
Yes.
The war in Russia, the war between Russia and Ukraine, has revealed something. The Prime Minister of Energy Security in any country, European Union, Kabadaya, the whole of European Union, have arrived at energy price cap for their citizens to mitigate the harsh effects of energy prices. UK is going down now because UK is one of the few countries in Europe whose government is no longer participating in the means of production of energy. That is why the Labour Party of UK say we will establish energy companies that are owned by the state. There's no country in the world with energy, with state-owned energy companies that is suffering energy crisis. None, except Nigeria. None. From Saudi to Qatar. No, it's just not the Qatar, but at how many billions of dollars to those workers? Did you see them sweating? Yeah. But because we have refused to maximize, so it is good that don't have energy, natural energy resources, and don't have the capacity to transform, crude to finished product that actually suffering this issue, understandably. So if I go from a country that does not have oil, I'm saying what I'm saying now. We have oil, we have refineries, Why can't you fix them? So we can enjoy the double bounty. Oil producing countries are making money now because of high price of energy. We are not. You see, France has an energy company. It's owned by the French government. The NEPA in France is owned by government. But that company is also providing electricity for France, for Britain, for a fee. So what people are now asking, how is France able to provide electricity for themselves at home and even export to us? You know that Ukraine, let me give you one shocking story. Ukraine has a state-owned energy company in all sectors of petrol, gas, have it. Do you know that up to recently, Ukraine didn't have power problem, even fighting war, until Russia started specifically targeting.
Yes, some of
Guess
the
what?
gas plants.
As soon as they're targeting it, within a few days, they've
They like to
restored them.
come back, yes.
Could have capacity.
There's some Nigerians even made allusion to that. Ukraine that is
Fighting
fighting
war.
war. Still have
Oh,
like
Ukraine is exporting electricity throughout this war. Ukraine is exporting electricity to EU throughout this war period. That is the power of state-owned energy company that is well run. We must run them well. You can run away from it. You can be running around and go and that PI part two. It will so many problems until you come and do the right thing. Efficiency, responsibility, discipline, incorruptibility. If NPC is corrupt, reform it. Mr. President, you've appointed your former friend, your former running mate, Dr. Chukwu Bakadibo. You appointed his wife as chairman of the board of NPC. Patronage. Patronage. And you expect these things to work. How can it work? Under PIA, you appointed your crony's wife as chairman of the board.
I just made this so this morning, this studio. Let's move over to the other papers we have on our menu. We are looking at the Punch. The Punch is still on CBN issue. It says cash limits not anti-people. CBN insists. Reps knock Emefiele. Cash limits not anti-people. CBN insists. Reps knock Emefiele. Policy will open rural and underserved communities to economic opportunities. CBN Deputy Governor. Apex Bank orders 500 million pieces of new notes. Says nation ready for cashless economy. Emefiele flouting CBN Act. Policy ill-timed and irresponsible. Lawmakers SADC chairman. CBN insists cash limits not anti-people, while reps knock Emefiele. It's still on that same CBN issue. Vanguard also has a story on it. Naira redesign, 500 million new notes ordered, says CBN. Naira redesign, 500 million new notes ordered, says CBN. Benefits outweigh risk. Policy not based on politics. POS operators are within new withdrawal limits to partner NOA orders on public awareness. The last has not been heard on this CBN.
When the policy is good, when the policy is seamlessly in sync with reality, you won't have this controversy. Or one of those who fought the Naira redesign policy. To what end? What is the cost of this redesigning of Naira? And what is the purpose? I said it then that it cannot in any way reduce or increase the value of the Naira. It will not reduce inflation. In fact, the redesign policy actually added to inflation because it drove forex up. So cost of importation became high. While we are still trying to recover from that, they came with another one that said that cashless policy, they want to reduce the limit of. You need to wonder why all this rush policy at a critical time that we're going to an election. A lot of people think that the CBN going to be challenged because politicians don't have money to. I've told people that this does not affect politicians that want to spend money. The politicians do not have to get their money to spend politician. Leave that one. Sometimes you focus on how something affects. You don't allow people to deceive you by telling you that your enemies, those you think are your enemies, are going to be affected. While you are the one that is being affected. Have you heard of the president candidate complain?
Exactly.
Have you heard them complain?
Exactly.
Have you had any
so
party
much
chairman?
like, oh no, there is so much in support because they feel,
They feel
Nigerians
the
are always
anti-elite.
anti-elite.
And they forget to say it affects them. Have you
They
noticed?
don't care.
Has any political party made a statement against this policy, including Labour Party? What does that tell you? Look, it can't solve corruption problem. No, people make the mistake. Let me tell you.
And but something has generated so much heat that a few days ago DSS is doing attempt to arrest him.
That was another
And one
problem.
begins to
That
wonder
one was
what is
another.
happening.
That one was another issue. Now let me just deal with this matter before we come to that important issue of arrest. You see, that the CBN has also come out after a few days. So
Mm.
I just said it. Just that they don't know what they are doing at the issue.
Mm.
They don't know. You see, a CBN is supposed to be the
And see the
highest
increase they gave it to from 100,000
500,000
to
for
5
individuals
for
or 5
individual
million.
to 5 and
You see, the CBN is supposed to be the highest authority when it comes to monetary matters in any country. When it pronounces after God, it is CBN. When they say something, even you as a citizen, you know that this is flawless. This is above board, as Jesus wife. We have a CBN that is like this. It's a problem with the leadership. All over the world, cashless policy is not a first thing. No, it's a behavioral thing. They make you understand that cashless policy is good for you. There was a day, the day I embraced cashless policy myself was the day I realized that from my card, when I put an account with in one of the banks, I was told that I know this card, they mention the kind of card, it can help you do live follow transaction. I was like, not ATM card. One day I went to buy furniture somewhere. And after they gave me my bill, I told them, okay, I want to go to the bank and transfer. He said, no, you have a card. I have a card. Look at that. This card can transfer. You mean you can remove 6 digits figure from this card? I said, yes. They punch it in and I said, okay, this is convenient. So I can do purchases for look at the card in my pocket. Very wonderful. So before you know, people begin to adjust to it. I want to just people themselves abandon notes and I embrace because it's easier, it's convenient. That's what you should do. You don't just
that's
come
why Nigerians are
abruptly.
wondering what happens to NOA.
It's gradual. When people begin, many years ago, people were not also sold on ATM cards. But somebody now introduced transfer on your phone. So I can sit on my phone, I can sit on my phone and disburse millions of naira. Yes. In my own account, for example, I have 10 million naira limit of transfer. So you can do it means you can start your house. You don't to drive and waste fuel to the bank.
Yes.
You do transfer. So by the time these things become very easy, common, gradually people will begin to migrate to cashless policy. Gradually. Now, on the issue of bank, notes redesign, another note design. Again, what happens in other parts of the world is they don't even give a timeline. They
That
allow you.
was
The only
what
thing is
people were
when you
wondering. Why the
deposit,
haste?
when you deposit your all the money,
Yes.
or when you deposit it, it never comes back to the system. So after a period of 1 year, people have almost have disappeared because as you're entering the bank, they are bringing that in. So it does not create panic. It does not create any sort of disruption. It's what it is. We're trying to strengthen the security of our nodes. And maybe try to also mop up the old ones to know what is really in circulation. Simple. But when you create a situation where it's corruption or fighting, is this? It created unnecessary panic, unnecessary disruption that now sent the dollar rising against the naira to as high as 900 before it now came back to above 700. Of what use is this damage can you reverse it? I listened to the EFCC chairman saying that naira will drop to 200 naira per dollar, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed, and I just wanted to say how. But okay, so that is the issue. So this CBN governor has mismanaged the CBN so much that the CBN has been reduced to the status of an ordinary commercial bank.
And it was actually helped by doing that president
That he
campaign.
became an APC member, wanted the president of
Yeah, and he
Nigeria.
even went to court to enforce his fundamental
Human right to
rights
contest.
to contest.
So such a person
As a
should
matter
not
of fact,
be
APC presidential campaign council even made allusion to it
yes,
when they were talking
to a Obebena, who is the skills man. Now, back to the issue of CBN and DSS. We understand that the Mayfield is not in the country as we speak. The somewhere, as I said, is not feeling fine. So the feelers are that he may not come back to Nigeria. How can a CBN governor be on the run, technically speaking? How can a CBN governor be accused by the DSS?
Did you listen to what the I don't know
Kazauri, on the issue of stamp duty.
that how he said he ordered DSS to go and arrest Emefiele, that he was the one that ordered
Well, Kazauri,
that you ordered DSS
Kazauri,
to arrest
Kalauri has his
Emefiele.
own wahala. That one is something that the figures is talking about. They are too bogus to be realistic.
Yes,
But anyway,
they are not realistic. I
that's
think
another
that was when I
that's
lost.
another ball game. But the fact Emefiele should have resigned as CBN governor for the moment he wanted to be governor. That's what I think. And the president is not happy matters here. But DSS talk about openly to say somebody is sponsoring terrorism and all sorts of things. The president is aware. The DSS does not act without the president's clearance. Forget it. Anybody that tells you otherwise does not know how this system work. Any intelligence you see go out of the DSS has been cleared by the presidency to go out. That was why when Magu was declared by the National Assembly and the DSS came with the report, they don't clear him, not performing in conflict. And people thought it was the National Assembly that was paying attention. It is the president. He doesn't want Magu. But he doesn't want to be seen as the one that doesn't want Magu. That if you want to be the National Assembly to destroy Magu, it is him that don't want Magu. Because DSS will first submit a report to the president. Okay,
And twice like that, and when National Assembly made the attempt
and look,
again, DSS came out.
in spite of this damning report, I still want him confirmed for terrorism. DSS will step down that report and bring out the positive one. That's our system. DSS will not send a report except the president allows them to do so. But it is depending on first of all brief. Organization of Minion was once a rapist. Okay, even is a rapist, but he's also very incorruptible. So I want to employ his incorruptibility. They will apply this other side. That's how it is done. So once this report came out to the public, and DSS has gone to court already to seek for whatever to arrest Emefiele, Emefiele should have resigned from that state. And if I were Emefiele, if you feel that DSS is lying, and they're using a contrived security report to hunt you, resign, sue them to court for the motion of character, rather than staying outside of the country, claiming that you are ill. At the time that your policy is creating ripples across the country, and DSS is pursuing you for what do you call it?
Terrorism charges.
You see, it's unfair that most of the media are not really talking about this issue, and it is strange for DSS to accuse the CBN government.
No.
No, something we should. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying DSS is saying the truth. No, but for them to have, but they're still the DSS. They are still DSS. For them to come out to say Joseph person is found wanting, that's enough for him to resign first. It also means that the person who hired you wants you fired.
But imagine if he didn't resign when he was seeking to his fundamental human rights, you think he will resign now?
I'm saying that the president at this point should save us this drama. It is you that want to fire him, Mr. President. So Jesus will not go to court seeking to arrest him. Mr. President, call a mission and tell him, hand me your resignation. I can no longer work with you. It's allowed on that law. And because you hired him, even though the tenured office, and so you cannot sack him, you can only get him to resign willingly. So call a phone call from you to him to say, Mr. Gordon, if you thank you very much for services, can you hand me your resignation? We can no longer work together. Mr. President, we bold enough to do that and save us all of this drama. He's doing a damage to our image as a country. He's doing an incalculable damage to the monetary institutions in Nigeria. That the CBN governor is purportedly on the run. There's a report that says, an online report is reported that he's outside of the country and may not likely return soon. How can the CBN governor, who's supposed to be above board, who's supposed to be the moral compass of the country, because in terms of monetary affairs, monetary policies, be having such a controversy surrounding him, DSS here, a policy that is very knock-headed here, that you're now reversing. I mean, you're practically reversing it. Why did you start in the first place? Let me not shock you. The new bank notes are not enough. The banks are still issuing old notes at this time.
Yes.
When deadline is in January,
when
you are still issuing old notes.
When you use ATM,
You are still giving old notes
still
up
dispense
until this
those
point
notes.
when
Yes.
deadline is supposed to be January. So what kind of chaos are you going to witness at the end of January when the deadline?
It's close by.
What kind of chaos is? So even the banks don't have enough notes to substitute the old notes. So why did you go to this venture in the first place? Why?
Sad and unfortunate. Let's take our last paper we have on our menu, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian says lawmakers' constituency projects delay 2023 budget. Lawmakers' constituency projects delay 2023 budget. Senate fixes December 28th for passage of appropriation bill. That's the leading story on The Guardian. Lawmakers' constituency projects delay 2023 budget. The leading story on The Guardian.
Yes, that's the most important item of the budget of the government. So, uh,
We saw what happened during Dugara's tenure as Speaker of the House of
yes,
Reps, the war of words,
that's the most important thing to both the
touching
leadership
between
and membership of the National Assembly.
what is his name?
Former chairman of operations
Yes, Chairman of
of the House
Appropriations.
of Reps, Abumimi
He
Jibril,
said that they actually
budget party.
created
So, the thing is, the National Assembly actually has the right to think out the budget. They can add and remove. But there's a problem with that power. You see, normally in developed democracies, political parties and politics in general are based on ideologies. So a party member is voted in because of a set of ideals and economic policy propositions.
Yes.
I'll give a typical example. Let's use US as an example. A typical US Republican parliamentarian or Congress member was actually elected on the basis of cutting government spending.
Yes. Or even tax.
Reducing tax, you reduce tax and you cut government spending.
Yes.
Fundamentally, this is why he was elected. A Democrat, on the other hand, no, he's elected to go and increase taxes and increase government spending.
Exactly.
And so the two are trying to achieve the same goal. Republican officials, if you cut taxes there and the money is retained in the hands of the people, they will better utilize it well. They use that money to say employ more people into their jobs and create better value. But the Democrats should tell you, look, there's no how people can be trusted to use the excess that is in their hand by way of tax cut to do what they are saying. So it's better for government to do it directly by taking the money off, create programs that will create employment. Both of them are trying to achieve welfare equity for the people. So when they get to the Congress now, and the president brings a budget, if the president is a Democrat president, a typical Republican, in exercising the power of appropriation, we look at the increase in taxes and increase in government programs and spending. So he will propose a cut to them. I know this is too much. We won't agree to this. So he will propose what he considers as too much of spending on my taxes and tax of my consequence. I don't want. The Democrat, on the other hand, for example, if the president is a Republican and brings a tax cut budget with small spending, will we seek to increase spending on critical sectors of the economy, particularly social security, healthcare, housing, social subsidy for food. These are the kind of competing
On that
ideas.
head issue, we saw what happened now.
Obamacare,
Trump
overhead.
right overturned
Exactly.
Obamacare.
So these are the things that they argue about. So usually what the president will do is, if you don't have a majority in the house, you will have a bipartisan consultation. Okay, let me accede to your demand here. Accede to back. So they don't find a middle ground to avoid what you usually call government shutdown. Because if they don't agree to pass the budget, one cannot run 1 naira or the budget.
Like in Nigeria.
Unlike in Nigeria. That was why, for example, there was a time Donald Trump and the former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had this same situation. So the House Democrats wouldn't pass the president's budget. But it's okay, no problem. So we're going to go into a shutdown. So during the shutdown, or as we were about to enter shutdown, the president now wrote to the president seeking permission. No, not seeking permission, rather, informing him of our trip to, I think it was Southeast Asia. Like it was like the top. So the president now responded that because of budget shutdown, there's no funding for Air Force One. They can't buy fuel for Air Force One and service degree. So it's like saying that you're the one that shut down the budget. And so there's no money for your trip. So that was how the federal agreed on the middle ground and they passed the budget. So you see, it's based on principles, a theology. Not in Nigeria.
Yes, it's based on principles and ideology.
Based on personal patronage system. My village wants well, one borehole, we want this. And that's because Nigeria's economy is not integrated. America's economy is integrated. So once a Republican in Ohio and a Republican in Sokoto, they have the same agenda. When they take a stand based on party ideology, it affects their constituents seamlessly. There's integration. Imagine there's no integration. That's why in Nigeria, a lawmaker will put road in the budget. It's only if you're in the committee for works. Before she only came out of the committee, I must put a road in my village. They put the road there. The road will start from front of his house and end in front of his party chairman's house. So before his house and after his house, there's no road. So after one rainy season, the road will wash out. But government has spent money for that road. Ordinarily, such things should have been seen. There's a plan to build road from Aba to Kano. As a lawmaker from Aba, my own to monitor whether the funding for that road project got through Umaya, Ishukwatro, through Owerri to Suka, up through Lokoja to Sokoto. My own is to monitor in this budget. Last year, the government was able to achieve 10 kilometers. So this budget, I'm to monitor whether is there funding for the project to continue. That's not the case in Nigeria. It is individual. So we see them fighting over construction projects that are of no impact. It's only symbolic. So they go to the village and say, I see, he brought us this.
Yes.
That's satisfaction that he brought our own share.
I like what you said. Concerning projects that have no impact.
It has no impact.
Was it in Nigeria? How many 3 years ago we saw that was it ICPC that arrested a lawmaker?
Yes.
That he went and bought all these high-end technology machines that don't be in the primary health care center or in a house. And it was no use. He kept them locked up for.
The idea was that contract. Because again, lawmakers also bring the people that are in the country. They don't the contractor. A lot of things goes on around construction project that is beneficial to the lawmakers.
Yes.
That is the major thing that happens. And so they will do anything to make sure that their interests are accommodated in the budget. The line items of the secretary will not pass it. So they will have to compromise. And the first thing that they monitor the implementation is the budget. So year in, year out, we budget and spend trillions of naira waste. Complete waste. It can be done with the right leadership from the top. We have a national planning ministry. You see, our problem can be resolved much, much faster and easier through a deliberate political process. You see, that's the role of the political party. The political party is supposed to be able to discern and synchronize an integrated national agenda for development that ties every part of Nigeria into a development plan. And so anybody elected on a party platform, wherever, is familiar with it. We go to the National Assembly and make sure that they move it incrementally. None of the parties have this. No. So the president and the governors, everybody will be on struggling to bring about this reality. This plan we have, how do we bring it to reality incrementally? So when Nigerians say that their plans are working, they keep voting for them. Then the other party will not be forced to bring a superior plan to this one and campaign and say, look, these plans have defects. Ours is better than this. Good for us. So now seeing that these people are voting for this party before now because of their plan, they will not be sure that they do their own better. So once people vote for them, maybe at one state level or two states, and implement it very, very efficiently in their states, they will not increase. So it becomes a competition of good ideas, of good governance that people can freely choose from. It will even reduce the tension and because anybody who wins, your security of welfare is guaranteed. Simple. Yes, it's guaranteed. So there's no need to, you don't tell anybody, just sit down in your house. The policy will come to your doorstep. Simple. That is how it's supposed to be. We are not there and we should be there. We should be there.
That we eventually get there. Wow, it's been so exciting and educative.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I always learn from you. Thank you so much for your presence and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Obviously, this will end today's program Inside Nigeria. I'm just waiting for the studio in the house and being a guest, a Friday guest for that matter, magic. See you same time next week on Monday. He is wishing you a beautiful, beautiful Christmas celebration. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 08036886158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.